Hello, my lovely English learners. Welcome back to our YouTube channel. I'm Evelyn, and I'm honestly so happy you're here with me today. If this is your very first time joining me, then let me give you a big, warm welcome. Please just relax, get comfortable, and enjoy this moment with me. You do not need to speak perfect English here. Not at all. You only need a little time, a little patience, and the desire to keep learning. And I'll be right here with you, guiding you gently, step by step, every single day. We share a new English learning video every day, so you can keep practicing in a calm, simple, and steady way, without pressure and without feeling overwhelmed. Today, I want this lesson to feel like a cozy little English moment between friends, just you and me, learning together in a peaceful and easy way. There is no need to rush, and there is absolutely no need to feel nervous. We're going to gently improve your listening, and also your thinking, and even your speaking, in a very natural way. So if you'd like to, you can take a pen and some paper and keep them close to you. It's not something you must do, of course not, but it can really help you remember your answers and notice your progress more clearly. Now, today's lesson is a little different, and I think you're really going to enjoy it, because today you are going to test your English level from A1 all the way to C2. Step by step, gently and naturally. Yes, today we are going to go through 60 simple, real-life questions together, and these questions will slowly move from very easy, beginner English, to more advanced, natural, and fluent English. And don't worry, this is not an exam. There is no pressure here, no stress at all. This is just a calm and friendly way to understand your level and to see how much you already know. As we go through each question, I want you to listen carefully. Take a moment, and try to answer in your mind, or you can say your answer softly out loud, or even write it down. Whatever feels comfortable for you. There is no perfect answer, and there is no need to hurry. Just try your best and enjoy the process. Some questions will feel very easy, and you might smile and think, "Oh, that's simple, and that's wonderful." And then, slowly, you'll notice the questions becoming a little more challenging, a little deeper, a little more natural, just like real-life conversations. And that's where the real learning begins. You will also hear example answers, so you can compare and notice new words, new sentence patterns, and new ways of expressing your ideas. This will help you not only test your level, but also improve your English at the same time, in a very natural and relaxed way. By the end of this lesson, and I want you to feel proud, truly proud, because no matter your level, you are learning, you are improving, and you are showing up for yourself today, and that is something really special. Before we begin, may I ask you one small favor? If you enjoy learning English with me in this warm and gentle way, please subscribe and press the bell icon too. That way, you won't miss our daily lessons, and it also helps support me so I can continue making these calm and helpful lessons for you. Thank you so much. Truly. I really appreciate your support. All right then, take a slow and comfortable breath. Relax your shoulders. Keep your pen and paper nearby if you have them. And let's begin. Slowly, clearly, and together. Now, let's start very gently. with a simple question. Something easy, something familiar, just to warm up your mind. Imagine I am speaking directly to you, and I ask, "What is your name?" Take a moment, just a small pause, and answer in your mind, or softly out loud. Maybe you say, "My name is Ahmed," or "I'm Sarah," or "My name is Ali." Very nice, very simple, and very clear. This is a basic I1 level response, and it's a perfect place to begin. Now, let's take another small step. I ask you, where are you from? Again, take your time. No rush at all. Maybe you say, "I am from Pakistan," or "I'm from Turkey," or "I'm from Brazil." Beautiful. You are already building simple and meaningful sentences. Let's continue gently. I ask, "How old are you?" Pause. Think. Answer. You might say, "I'm 20 years old," or "I'm 35. Perfect. You are doing really well. Now, let's add a tiny bit more. I ask, "What do you do every day?" This question is still simple, but now you need to say a little more. Maybe you say, "I go to work," or "I study English," or "I take care of my family." Very good. Now you are starting to express your daily life. Let's try another one. What do you like to eat? Take your time. You might say, "I like rice," or "I like pizza," or "I like spicy food." Nice. Very natural. Now, let's gently move forward. Just a little. I ask you, "What are you doing right now?" Pause and answer. Maybe you say, "I am listening to this lesson," or "I am sitting," or "I am learning English." That's wonderful. Now, you are using the present continuous, even if you don't know the grammar name. You are using it naturally. Let's take one more small step. I ask, "What did you do yesterday?" Now, this is a little different, because we are talking about the past. Take a moment and try. Maybe you say, "I watched TV," or "I studied English," or "I visited my friend." Very good. You are already moving into a 2 level. Now, let's continue. Slowly, gently. I ask, "What are you going to do tomorrow?" Think about the future. You might say, "I am going to work," or "I will study," or "I will rest." Excellent. Now you are using future ideas. Let's go a little deeper. I ask, "Why are you learning English?" Take a breath and think. Maybe you say, "I want a better job," or "I want to travel," or "I enjoy learning languages." Beautiful. Now your answers are becoming more meaningful, more personal. Let's continue. I ask, "Can you describe your favorite place?" Now, take your time. Imagine that place. You might say, "My favorite place is my room. It is quiet and comfortable." Or, "I like the park near my house. It is green and peaceful." Very nice. Now you are combining ideas. Let's move a little further. I ask, "What do you usually do when you feel tired?" Pause. Think. Answer. Maybe you say, "I take a rest," or "I drink tea," or "I listen to music." Great. Now your English is becoming more natural. Let's go a bit deeper again. I ask, "Tell me about a time you felt really happy." Take a moment. Maybe you say, "I felt happy when I passed my exam," or "I felt happy when I met my friend." Wonderful. Now you are expressing past experiences, and slowly, step by step, without pressure, you are moving forward. Now, let's continue together. Slowly,
and comfortably, just like we are having a real conversation. And remember, there is no need to rush. Just listen, think, and answer in your own way. I'd like you to imagine a very simple situation. You wake up in the morning, the day is quiet, and I ask you, what time do you usually wake up? Take a small pause, just a gentle moment, and answer in your mind. Maybe you say, I wake up at 7, or I usually wake up at 8 in the morning. That's very nice, very natural. You are describing your routine.
Now, let's make it a little longer. I ask you, what do you do after you wake up? Take your time. No pressure at all. You might say, I brush my teeth, then I drink tea, or I check my phone, and then I take a shower. Beautiful. Now your sentences are growing, and your ideas are connecting. Let's move gently forward. I ask you, do you prefer tea or coffee? Pause, and choose. Maybe you say, I prefer tea, or I like coffee more. Very simple, but very real. This is everyday English. Now, let's add a little feeling. I ask, why do you prefer it? Think for a moment. Maybe you say, because it helps me relax, or because it gives me energy. Excellent. Now you are giving reasons, and this is a big step forward. Man, let's continue. I ask you, what do you usually do in the evening? Take a breath. Imagine your evening. You might say, I watch TV, or I spend time with my family, or I study English. Very good. Your answers are becoming more personal, more live. Now, let's go a little deeper. I ask, who do you talk to the most during your day? Pause, and think. Maybe you say, I talk to my mother, or I talk to my friends, or I talk to my coworkers. Nice. Very natural. Now, let's gently move to something a bit more descriptive. I ask, can you describe your best friend? Take your time. There is no hurry. You might say, my best friend is kind and funny, or she is very helpful and always listens to me. That's wonderful. Now you are using adjectives, describing people, expressing emotions. Let's continue forward, slowly increasing the level. I ask, what do you like to do on weekends? Pause. Imagine your weekend. Maybe you say, I like to relax, or I go out with friends, or I watch movies at home. Very nice. This is real-life English, the kind people use every day. Now, let's stretch your thinking just a little. I ask, what is something new you learned recently? Take a moment. Think gently. Maybe you say, I learned a new English word, or I learned how to cook something. Excellent. Now you are reflecting, and that's a beautiful skill. Let's go a little further. I ask, what do you do when you don't understand something in English? Pause, and answer honestly. Maybe you say, I try again, or I search online, or I ask someone. That's very good, and very real. Learning is not about being perfect. It's about trying. Now, let's make it slightly more advanced. I ask, how do you feel when you speak English? Take a breath, and be honest. You might say, I feel nervous, or I feel excited, or I feel more confident than before. That's beautiful. Now you are expressing emotions, and this is very important in communication. Let's continue. I ask, what is your biggest challenge in learning English? Pause. Think slowly. Maybe you say, listening is difficult, or I forget words, or speaking is hard for me. Very honest. Very meaningful. Now, let's take a small step higher, I ask. What do you do to improve your English every day? Think about your routine. You might say, I watch videos, or I practice speaking, or I listen to lessons like this. That's wonderful. You are building habits, and habits create progress. Let's move forward again, I ask. Can you tell me about your favorite movie? Take your time. Imagine it. Maybe you say, my favorite movie is very interesting. It has a strong story. Or, I like it because it makes me feel happy. Very nice. Now your sentences are becoming longer, more connected, more expressive. And now, let's gently increase the level again, I ask. If you could travel anywhere in the world, where would you go? Pause. Dream a little. You might say, I would go to Japan, or I would visit Paris. Beautiful. Now you are using imagination. Let's go one step further, I ask. Why would you choose that place? Think slowly. Maybe you say, because it is beautiful, or because I like the culture, or because I want to experience something new. Excellent. Now your answers have depth. Let's continue. I ask, what would you do if you had one free day with no responsibilities? Pause. Imagine your perfect day. You might say, I would relax, or I would spend time with family, or I would go somewhere peaceful. Very good. Now you are using conditional thinking, even if you don't notice it. Right now, let's move slightly higher, I ask. Do you think learning English is easy or difficult? And why? Take your time. Maybe you say, it is difficult because it takes time, or it is easy when you practice every day. That's great. Now you are expressing opinions. Let's continue gently, I ask. What advice would you give to someone who is just starting to learn English? Pause. Think kindly. You might say, practice every day, or don't be afraid, or be patient. That's beautiful. Now you are guiding others. Now, let's take a deeper step. I ask, how has learning English changed your life? Take a moment. This is more personal. Maybe you say, it helped me communicate, or it gave me more confidence, or it opened new opportunities. Wonderful. Now you are expressing complex ideas. Yes, let's move forward. I ask, what would you do if you suddenly forgot how to speak your native language? Pause. Think. You might say, I would feel confused, or I would try to learn again. Very interesting. Now your thinking is expanding. Let's continue. I ask, do you think it's better to learn alone or with others? Take your time. Maybe you say, with others, because it helps me practice, or alone, because I can focus. Nice. Balanced thinking. Now, let's go a little more advanced. I ask, how would your life be different if you were completely fluent in English? Pause. Imagine clearly. You might say, I would travel more, or I would have better job opportunities, or I would feel more confident. Excellent. Now your ideas are more complex, more connected. And let's continue gently. I ask, what do you think is the most effective way to learn a language? Take a breath. Think slowly. Maybe you say. Practice every day. Or speak with people. Or listen a lot. Very good. Now you are explaining ideas. Now, let's go even deeper, I ask. Do you believe that making mistakes is important in learning? Why or why not? Pause. Reflect. You might say, yes, because we learn from mistakes. Or, mistakes help us improve. That's excellent. Now your English is becoming more thoughtful. And as you can feel, step by step, question by question, your level is slowly rising, naturally, calmly, without pressure. You are not just answering questions. You are building confidence. You are building fluency. And most importantly, you are learning to think in English. Yes, and we will continue, gently, moving from easier levels toward more advanced ideas, together, just like this. Now, take another slow breath. Relax your mind again, and let's continue together, gently moving forward, one small step at a time. I'd like you to stay in this calm rhythm, listening, thinking, and answering in your own way, because this is where real learning happens. Quietly, naturally, without pressure. Now, let's continue with another simple but meaningful question. I ask you, what do you usually do when you feel bored? Take a moment. Don't rush. Maybe you say, I watch videos, or I go for a walk, or I talk to a friend. Very nice. Your answer shows your habits, your daily choices. And now, let's gently expand this idea. I ask, why do you think people feel bored sometimes? Pause. Think a little deeper. You might say, because they have nothing to do, or because they feel tired, or because they need something new. Excellent. Now you are explaining reasons, not just actions. Let's move forward. I ask, what makes you feel truly relaxed? Take a breath. Imagine that feeling. Maybe you say, listening to music, or sitting alone quietly, or spending time with people I love. Beautiful. Now your English carries emotion and meaning. And now, let's go a little further. I ask, can you describe a perfect day in your life? Pause. Imagine your perfect day clearly. You might say, I wake up early, I feel happy, I spend time with my family, and I relax in the evening. Very good. Now you are telling a small story, step by step. Let's continue. I ask, what kind of people do you enjoy spending time with? Take your time. Maybe you say, kind people, or people who understand me, or people who make me laugh. That's wonderful. Now your answers are becoming more personal, more expressive. Now, let's gently raise the level. I ask, what qualities do you think make a good friend? Pause. Think carefully. You might say, honesty is important, or a good friend listens, or they support you. Excellent. Now you are expressing ideas clearly. Let's move forward again. I ask, have you ever helped someone in a difficult situation? Pause. Think back. Maybe you say, yes, I helped my friend when they were sad, or I helped someone with their work. Very nice. Now you are connecting past experiences with emotions. Now, let's go a little deeper. I ask, how did that experience make you feel? Take a moment. You might say, it made me feel happy, or I felt proud, or I felt useful. Beautiful. This is real communication, sharing feelings. Let's continue gently. I ask. What do you usually do when you feel stressed? Pause. Think honestly. Maybe you say, I take a break, or I listen to music, or I try to relax. Very good. Now, let's go one step further. I ask. Why do you think managing stress is important? Think slowly. You might say, because it helps us stay healthy, or because it keeps our mind calm. Excellent. Now your thinking is becoming more structured. Let's continue, I ask. What kind of environment helps you learn better? Pause. Imagine your ideal place. Maybe you say, a quiet place, or a comfortable room, or a place without distractions. Very nice. Now, let's go a bit more advanced, I ask. Do you think technology helps or distracts people when learning? Take a breath. You might say, it helps because we have more resources. Or, it distracts because there are too many things. That's great. Now, you are comparing ideas. Let's continue, I ask. How do you usually stay motivated when learning something difficult? Pause. Reflect. Maybe you say, I remind myself of my goals, or I take small steps, or I keep practicing. Excellent. Now, let's move into more thoughtful questions. I ask. Do you think success comes from talent or hard work? Take your time. You might say, hard work is more important, or both are important. Very good. Now you are expressing opinions clearly. Let's go deeper, I ask. Can failure be useful? Why or why not? Pause. Think carefully. Maybe you say, yes, because we learn from it. Or failure teaches us lessons. Beautiful. Now your English carries deeper meaning. And let's continue gently. I ask, what is something you are proud of in your life? Take a moment. You might say, I am proud of my progress. Or, I am proud of my hard work. That's wonderful. Now, let's move forward. I ask, how do you usually make important decisions? Pause. Think. Maybe you say, I think carefully. Or, I ask others. Or, I take my time. Very good. Now, let's go slightly higher. I ask, do you think people change over time? Why? Take your time. You might say, yes, because they learn and grow, or experiences change people. Excellent. Let's continue. I ask, what is the most valuable lesson you have learned so far? Pause. Reflect deeply. Maybe you say, to be patient, or to never give up. Very meaningful. Yes, now, let's gently move toward more advanced thinking. I ask, how would you define happiness? Take a breath. Think carefully. You might say, happiness is feeling peaceful, or it is being satisfied with life. Beautiful. Now your answers are becoming more abstract. Let's continue. I ask, do you believe people create their own opportunities? Pause. Reflect. Maybe you say, yes, through effort, or sometimes, but not always. Very good. Now, let's go a little deeper. I ask, how do culture and language connect with each other? Take your time. You might say, language reflects culture, or culture shapes how people speak. Excellent. Now this is a more advanced idea. And let's continue gently. I ask, why do some people find it difficult to express their thoughts clearly? Pause. Think. Maybe you say, because they lack confidence, or because they don't have enough vocabulary. Very thoughtful. Now, let's move further, I ask. What do you think is more important? Speaking correctly or speaking confidently? Take a breath. You might say, confidence is more important, or both are important. Great. Balanced thinking. Let's continue. I ask, how can someone become a better communicator? Pause. Reflect. Maybe you say, by practicing, or by listening carefully, or by speaking regularly. Excellent. And now, let's take a deeper step, I ask. Do you think language shapes the way we think? Pause. Think carefully. You might say, yes, because words influence thoughts, or maybe, in some ways, very advanced. And now, as you notice, you are already moving toward higher level English. Your answers are becoming longer, more thoughtful, more natural, and more connected. And the most beautiful thing is, you are doing this calmly, gently, without pressure. You are improving, right now, just by being here, just by thinking, just by trying. And we will continue, slowly, moving even deeper, exploring more complex ideas, together. Now, just stay with me for a moment. Keep your breathing slow, your mind relaxed, and let's continue this journey together, gently moving into deeper and more advanced English, step by step. And at this point, you may already notice something inside you, a small shift. Maybe your thoughts are coming a little faster. Maybe your sentences feel a little smoother. And that is exactly what we want. Natural progress, without force. Now, let's continue with a slightly more reflective question. I ask you, when do you feel most confident while speaking English? Take a moment. Don't rush. Maybe you say, when I practice regularly, or when I speak slowly, or when I understand the topic. That's wonderful. You are becoming more aware of your own learning process. So now, let's go a little deeper, I ask. What do you think is the biggest difference between understanding English and speaking English? Pause. Think carefully. You might say, understanding is easier, or speaking needs more practice, or speaking requires confidence. Excellent. Now you are analyzing your own experience. Let's continue. I ask, have you ever felt stuck while learning something? What did you do? Take your time. Remember a real moment. Maybe you say, yes, I felt stuck, but I kept practicing. Or, I took a break and came back later. Very good. Now your answers carry experience and reflection. And now, let's move further. I ask, what habits do you think are most effective for long-term learning? Pause. Think slowly. You might say, consistency is important, or daily practice helps, or listening regularly is useful. Excellent. Let's go deeper again. I ask, do you think motivation is more important than discipline? Why? Take a breath. Maybe you say, discipline is more important because it keeps you going. Or motivation helps you start. Very thoughtful. Now, let's continue. I ask, how do you usually react when you make a mistake in English? Pause. Be honest. You might say, I feel shy. Or, I try again. Or, I learn from it. That's beautiful. Because mistakes are part of learning, not something to fear. Now, let's go a little more advanced. I ask. Why do you think some people learn languages faster than others? Take your time. You might say, because they practice more, or because they are more confident, or because they use the language daily. Excellent. Now you are explaining patterns. Let's continue. I ask. If you could change one thing about your learning method, what would it be? Pause. Reflect. Maybe you say, I would practice speaking more, or I would be more consistent. Very good. Now, let's move into more abstract thinking. I ask, do you believe that learning a language can change your personality? Take a breath. Think deeply. You might say, yes, because you express yourself differently, or you become more confident. That's a very advanced idea. And let's continue gently. I ask, how does fear affect the way people communicate? Pause. Reflect carefully. Maybe you say, fear makes people silent, or it stops them from expressing ideas. Excellent. Now your thinking is becoming more analytical. Now, let's go even deeper. I ask, what role does patience play in mastering a skill? Take your time. You might say, patience helps us continue, or it allows steady improvement. Beautiful. Let's continue. I ask, do you think people learn better from success or from failure? Pause. Maybe you say, from failure, because it teaches lessons, or from both. Very good. Balanced thinking. And now, let's move further. I ask, what is the difference between knowledge and understanding? Take a moment. This is a deeper question. You might say, knowledge is information. Understanding is using it. Excellent. This is advanced thinking. Let's continue gently. I ask, how do emotions influence the way we learn? Pause. Think carefully. Maybe you say, positive emotions help learning, or stress makes learning harder. Very insightful. Now, let's go deeper again. I ask, do you think communication is more about speaking or listening? Take a breath. You might say, listening is more important, or both are equally important. Excellent. And let's continue. I ask, why do misunderstandings happen between people? Pause. Reflect. Maybe you say, because of different meanings, or because people don't listen carefully. Very good. Now, let's move into higher level thinking. I ask, how can someone express complex ideas more clearly? Take your time, you might say, by using simple words, or by organizing thoughts. Excellent. Let's continue gently. I ask, do you think language learning should focus more on grammar or communication? Pause. Maybe you say, communication is more important, or both are necessary. Very thoughtful. And now, let's go deeper. I ask, what does it mean to truly understand a language? Take a breath. Reflect deeply. You might say, to think in it, or to use it naturally. Beautiful. This is a very advanced concept. Let's continue. I ask, how does practice change the brain over time? Pause. Maybe you say, it builds stronger connections, or it makes things easier. Excellent. Now, let's move forward. I ask, why is consistency more powerful than intensity in learning? Take your time. You might say, because small daily effort grows, or because it builds habits. Very insightful. Let's continue gently. I ask, how can someone stay consistent even when they feel unmotivated? Pause. Maybe you say, by creating a routine, or by taking small steps. Excellent. And now, let's go deeper again, I ask. What is the relationship between language and identity? Take a breath. Think deeply. You might say, language reflects who we are, or it shapes our expression. Very advanced. Let's continue, I ask. Do you think thinking in another language changes how you see the world? Pause. Maybe you say, yes, it gives new perspectives. Excellent. Now, let's move into near C1 to C2, level thinking. I ask, how can language be used to influence people's thoughts or actions? Take your time. You might say, through persuasive words, or through emotional language. Very strong. Let's continue. I ask, what makes communication truly effective? Pause. Reflect. Maybe you say, clarity, empathy, and understanding. Beautiful. Right now, take a small pause. Just breathe, and notice how far you've come. At the beginning, the questions were simple, short, easy. And now, you are thinking about ideas, emotions, meaning, communication, identity. This is a huge step. And you did it, calmly, gently, without pressure. And that is real progress. We will continue just a little further, going even deeper, and bringing everything together. Now, just take a soft breath again, and let your mind settle gently. You've already come so far, and I want you to really feel that, not just hear it, but feel it inside you. At the beginning, everything was simple, small questions, easy answers. And now, you are thinking, reflecting, expressing deeper ideas. And that means something has already changed. Something inside your English is growing, quietly, naturally. And let's continue, slowly, calmly, moving into even more advanced and natural questions. I ask you, what does it mean to communicate effectively in real life? And take your time. Don't rush this. Maybe you say, it means being understood, or it means sharing ideas clearly, or it means listening and responding properly. Very good. Now you are defining concepts, and that is a higher level skill. Now, let's go deeper. I ask, why do some conversations feel easy, while others feel difficult? Pause. Reflect gently. You might say, because of comfort, or because of understanding, or because of confidence. Excellent. You are noticing human behavior now, not just language. So let's continue. I ask, how does confidence influence the way we speak? Take a breath. Maybe you say, confidence makes speech smoother, or it helps us speak freely. Beautiful. Now, let's move forward. I ask, do you think silence can be a form of communication? Pause. Think carefully. You might say, yes, silence can show feelings, or sometimes silence speaks more than words. Very deep, very meaningful. Let's continue. I ask, what is more important in a conversation? Being correct or being understood? Take your time. Maybe you say, being understood is more important. Or, both are important in different situations. Excellent. And now, let's go a little further, I ask. How do tone and emotion change the meaning of words? Pause. Reflect. You might say, tone can change everything, or the same words can feel different. Very insightful. Let's continue gently. I ask, why do people sometimes misunderstand each other, even when they speak the same language? Take a breath. Maybe you say, because of different perspectives, or because they don't listen fully. Excellent. Now, let's go deeper. I ask, what role does listening play in building strong communication? Pause. You might say, listening helps understanding, or it shows respect. Beautiful. And let's continue. I ask, how can someone express disagreement in a polite and respectful way? Take your time. Maybe you say, by using soft language, or by showing respect. Very advanced. Now, let's move further. I ask, do you think language learning is more about habit or ability? Pause. You might say, habit is more important, or both matter. Excellent. Let's continue. I ask, how can someone stay consistent with learning for a long time? Take a breath. Maybe you say, by creating routines, or by staying patient. Very good. Now, let's go deeper again. I ask, what is the difference between speaking fluently and speaking meaningfully? Pause. Think carefully. You might say, fluency is speed. Meaning is depth. Excellent. That's a very strong answer. Let's continue. I ask, how do real-life experiences improve language learning? Take your time. Maybe you say, they give context, or they make learning natural. Very good. Now, let's move forward. I ask, why is it important to think in English instead of translating? Pause. You might say, because it makes speaking faster, or because it feels natural. Excellent. Let's continue gently. I ask, what does it mean to speak naturally? Take a breath. Maybe you say, to speak without thinking too much, or to speak like in real life. Beautiful. Now, let's go deeper. I ask, how can someone move from basic English to advanced English? Pause. You might say, by practicing daily, or by using more complex sentences. Very good. And let's continue. I ask, what is more important, learning many words or learning how to use them? Take your time. Maybe you say, using words is more important. Excellent. Now, let's move further. I ask, why do some learners stop improving after a certain level? Pause. You might say, because they stop practicing, or because they feel comfortable. Very insightful. Let's continue. I ask, how can someone push beyond that level? Take a breath. Maybe you say, by challenging themselves, or by trying new things. Excellent. Now, let's go even deeper. I ask, what does it mean to truly master a language? Pause. Reflect deeply, you might say. To think, feel, and express freely. Beautiful. Then let's continue. I ask, do you think language can shape reality, or just describe it? Take your time. Maybe you say, it can shape how we see things. Very advanced thinking. Now, let's move forward. I ask, how does communication influence relationships? Pause. you might say. It builds understanding, or it creates connection. Excellent. Let's continue gently. I ask, what makes someone a powerful speaker? Take a breath. Maybe you say, clarity, confidence, and emotion. Very strong. Now, let's go deeper. I ask, how can words inspire or motivate people? Pause. You might say, through meaning and emotion. Beautiful. Let's continue. I ask, why is empathy important in communication? Take your time. Maybe you say, because it helps us understand others. Excellent. And now take another gentle pause. You've just answered questions that many learners find difficult, and you did it calmly, step by step, without pressure. You are not just learning English. You are developing your ability to think, express, and connect. And that is something very powerful. We will continue, just a little more, bringing everything together and helping you clearly understand your level. Now, just stay here with me for a moment. Breathe slowly and let everything you've done so far settle gently in your mind, because this is where something important happens. This quiet moment where learning becomes part of you, not just something you hear, but something you feel. And you've already moved through simple answers, daily routines, personal thoughts, and now very deep ideas. And that tells us something very clear. Your English is not just growing, it is expanding, naturally, step by step, without force. Now, let's continue and begin to bring everything together, gently guiding you to notice your true level, not with pressure, but with awareness. I'd like to ask you something slightly different now. What did you notice about your answers as the questions became more difficult? Take your time. Really think about this. Maybe you say, my answers became slower, or I needed more time to think, or I used simpler words. That's very important, because awareness is the first step to improvement. And now, let's go a little deeper. I ask, when you didn't know a word, what did you do? Pause, reflect, honestly. Maybe you say, I tried to explain in another way, or I stayed silent. Both are real. Both are part of learning. Now, let's move forward. I ask, do you feel more comfortable understanding English or speaking it? Take a breath. Maybe you say, understanding is easier, or speaking is harder. That's very common and very natural. Now, let's go deeper again. I ask, what part of this exercise felt easy for you? Pause. Maybe you say, simple questions, or talking about daily life. Excellent. And now, what part felt more challenging? Take your time. Maybe you say, expressing deep ideas, or finding the right words. Very honest, and very helpful for your growth. And now, let's gently bring everything together. I want you to think about all the questions you answered from the very beginning until now. Notice your comfort, your speed, your confidence, and based on that, I want you to gently ask yourself, where do I feel most comfortable? If you felt very comfortable with the simple questions, like introducing yourself, talking about your daily routine, answering basic questions easily, then you are likely around A1 to A2 level, and that is a strong and important foundation. If you felt comfortable describing your day, sharing your thoughts, giving reasons, talking about past and future, then you are likely around B1 level, where real communication begins to grow naturally. And if you were able to explain ideas clearly, express opinions, talk about experiences, and connect your thoughts smoothly, then you are likely around B2 level, and that is a very strong level of independence. And if you found yourself able to discuss deeper ideas, abstract thoughts, emotions, communication, learning, and express them with clarity, even if not perfectly, then you are moving into C1 level, where language becomes a true tool for thinking. And if you felt comfortable with almost all questions, expressing complex ideas naturally, reflecting deeply, and responding without much hesitation, then you may already be near C2 level, where English becomes a natural part of how you think and express yourself. But listen carefully. This is very important, no matter where you are right now. A 1, a 2, B1, B2, C1, or even close to C2, you are on the path. And that path is what matters. Not the label, not the level, but the progress. Now, let's continue gently. I want to give you a small practice, something simple, but very powerful. Think about one question from today, any question you liked. Now, try to answer it again. But this time, add one more sentence, just one. If you said, "I like tea," you can say, "I like tea because it helps me relax." If you said, "I study English," you can say, "I study English every day because I want to improve." This small step, adding just one more idea, is how your English grows, naturally. And now, let's try another gentle exercise. I want you to imagine you are speaking to a friend. Choose any topic from today, maybe your routine, your feelings, your goals, and try to speak for just 10 seconds, slowly, clearly, without worrying about mistakes. Just speak. This is how fluency begins, not in perfection, but in expression. Now, let's go a little deeper again. I ask you, what is one thing you will do after this lesson to improve your English? Pause. Think. Maybe you say, "I will practice speaking," or "I will listen more," or "I will repeat this lesson." That's wonderful, because action creates change. And now, take a moment and think about yourself. Think about your journey, where you started, and where you are now. Even if your progress feels slow, it is still progress. Even if your English is not perfect, it is still growing, and that matters deeply. Let's continue gently. I want to remind you of something simple. You do not need to know everything. You do not need to speak perfectly. You only need to keep going, one small step at a time. And you are already doing that. Right now. And now, as we slowly come toward the end of this session, I want you to feel something. Not just think, but feel. Feel your effort, your patience, your courage to keep learning. Because learning a language is not just about words. It is about showing up again and again, even when it feels difficult. And you did that today. You stayed, you listened, you answered, you tried. And that is something to be proud of, truly. Now, let's take one final gentle moment together. Close your eyes for just a second, if you want to. Take a slow breath in, and slowly breathe out, and just notice how calm you feel, how focused, how present. This is the best state for learning, and you can return to this feeling at any time you practice, and we will finish soon. But before we do, I want you to remember something very simple. Your English will grow, not overnight, not instantly, but slowly, naturally, beautifully, just like today, step by step, word by word, sentence by sentence, until one day you realize you are thinking in English, speaking in English, living in English, without fear, without hesitation, just naturally. And that journey starts with moments like this. Calm, simple, and consistent, just like what you did today. And I am truly proud of you. Thank you for being here with me. Now, just stay with me a little longer. Don't rush away from this moment, because this final part is not about testing anymore. It's about helping you carry this feeling, this confidence, into your real life, gently, naturally. Yet you've already done something very powerful today. You didn't just listen. You participated. You thought. You answered. And step by step, you moved through different levels of English, without pressure, without fear. And that is exactly how real progress happens. Now, let's take everything you've experienced and turn it into something you can use every single day. Something simple, but deeply effective. And I want you to imagine tomorrow, a normal day in your life. Maybe you wake up. Maybe you sit quietly for a moment, and instead of thinking in your native language, you gently ask yourself a small question in English. What am I going to do today? Pause and answer, slowly. I'm going to work, or I'm going to study, or I'm going to relax. Very simple, but very powerful, because now you are using English in your real life, not just in a lesson. Then later in the day, you can ask yourself another question. How do I feel right now? Pause. I feel tired, or I feel good, or I feel calm. Again, simple, but real. And in the evening, you can ask, what did I do today? Pause, reflect. I worked. I learned something new. I spent time with my family. This small habit, just asking yourself questions, like we did today. This is how your English becomes natural. Now, let's go a little deeper into this idea. You don't need to practice for hours. You don't need to force yourself. You only need small, consistent moments, just like these. A question, a pause, an answer, again and again, every day. And slowly, your mind begins to change. You begin to think in English without trying too hard. Now, let me guide you through a gentle practice, something you can repeat anytime. I want you to listen to me and imagine your day. You wake up and you say, "Today, I want to practice English." You smile a little. You feel calm. Then you ask yourself, what is one thing I can say in English right now? Maybe it's something very simple. I am sitting. I am listening. I am learning. And that's enough. That is more than enough. Now, let's take another small step. Imagine you are talking to someone, maybe a friend, maybe even yourself. And you say, "Today was a good day." Then you add, "I learned something new." Then one more sentence. "I feel proud of myself." Do you see what's happening? You are building your English, sentence by sentence, naturally. Now, let's go a little deeper again. I want you to imagine a small conversation, just in your mind. You ask, "What did you learn today?" And you answer, "I learned how to express my thoughts." Then you ask, "Was it difficult?" And you answer, "A little, but I tried." This is how you train your brain, not through pressure, but through gentle repetition. Now, let's bring this back to you. I want to ask you something simple. After this lesson, how do you feel about your English? Pause. Maybe you feel a little more confident. Maybe you feel a little more aware. Maybe you feel a little more motivated. And even if it's just a little, that little change matters. Because learning English is not about big jumps. It's about small steps, repeated every day. And those small steps become something big over time. Now, let's gently reflect one last time. Think about the first question today, and think about the last question. Notice the difference, not just in difficulty, but in how you responded, how you thought, how you expressed yourself. That difference is your progress. And the most beautiful part is, you didn't force it. You allowed it. And that is the best way to learn. Now, before we finish, I want to leave you with something simple, something you can carry with you. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to be fast. You don't need to know everything. You only need to continue. Just continue. One question, one answer, one small step, every day. And in one day, without even noticing, you will speak. Naturally. You will understand. Easily. You will express yourself. Clearly. And you will smile and realize you've come so far. Thank you for spending this time with me today. Thank you for your patience, your effort, and your presence. And most of all, thank you for not giving up on yourself. Now, before you leave this moment, I want to give you something a little extra, something deeper, something that can quietly transform the way you practice English every single day. Because what we did today was not just a test. It was a mirror, a way for you to see yourself, your thoughts, your habits, your strengths, and also the places where you can grow, gently, without judgment. And so now, let's slow down again and build one more layer, one more step that will help you move forward with clarity. I want you to imagine this. You are sitting alone, maybe in your room, maybe in a quiet place, and instead of thinking, "I need to study English," you simply begin a small conversation with yourself. You ask, "What is one thing I can describe right now?" Pause. Look around you. Maybe you say, "I am sitting in a quiet room." Then, add one more detail. The room is calm and comfortable. Then, one more. I feel relaxed here. Do you see how simple this is, and how powerful it becomes? Just by adding one more sentence, you are growing your English, naturally. And now, let's go a little deeper into this practice. I want you to imagine your day again, but this time, I want you to describe it in more detail, slowly, like telling a story. You can say, "I woke up early today. I felt a little tired, but I decided to start my day calmly." Then continue. "I made a cup of tea, and I sat quietly for a few minutes. Then, I started learning English. and I felt focused. This is how your English becomes alive. Not just words, but your life, your story, your voice. And now, let's gently challenge you a little more. I want you to take a simple sentence. I am learning English. And now, expand it. I am learning English every day. Then again, I am learning English every day because I want to improve my future. Then again, I am learning English every day because I want to feel more confident when I speak. Do you feel that? That growth, that expansion. This is how fluency is built, sentence by sentence, layer by layer. And now, let's take another small but powerful step. I want you to imagine you are explaining something to someone, maybe a simple idea, like why you are learning English. You can say, I am learning English because it helps me connect with people. Then add, it also gives me more opportunities. Then add one more, and it makes me feel proud of myself. This is not just English. This is expression, real, human expression. Now, let's go even deeper. I want you to think about your thoughts. Yes, your thoughts, the ones you have every day. And I want you to gently try to think one of those thoughts in English. Maybe something simple like, I need to finish my work. Or, I want to rest. Or, I feel a little tired today. This is where everything begins to change, when your inner voice slowly becomes English. Even just a little. That is a powerful shift. And now, let's continue gently. I want to ask you another reflective question. What is one small habit you can build to improve your English? Pause. Think honestly. Maybe you say, I will speak for 1 minute every day. Or, I will listen to English daily. Or, I will learn one new sentence every day. That's enough. You don't need more than that. Small habits, repeated daily, create big change. Now, let's take one final deeper reflection. I ask you, what kind of English speaker do you want to become? Pause, and imagine. Maybe you say, I want to speak clearly. I want to feel confident. I want to express myself freely. Beautiful. And now, gently understand this. You are already on that path, right now, in this moment. And because every time you listen, every time you think, every time you try, you are becoming that person, step by step, naturally. Now, let's slow down one last time. Take a deep breath in and slowly breathe out. And just notice how you feel. Calm, focused, present. This is your learning state. And you can return to this state anytime you want, just by slowing down and practicing gently. Now, as we come to the very end of this journey together, I want to say something simple, but very important. You did not just complete a lesson today. You showed patience, you showed effort, you showed courage, and those things matter more than anything else, more than grammar, more than vocabulary, more than perfection. And because those are the things that will carry you forward, even on difficult days, even when you feel stuck, even when progress feels slow, they will keep you moving. And one day, you will look back at this moment, and you will realize this is where something started to change, quietly, gently, but powerfully. Thank you, truly, for being here with me today. Thank you for your time, your focus, and your willingness to learn. And I'll be here, with you again. Now, just remain here for a few more moments. Don't hurry away, because this final stretch is where everything gently settles into place, where your learning becomes something you can carry with you, not just today, but every day. But you've already done something very meaningful. You stayed present. You listened. You thought. And you answered. And with each small step, your English opened a little more, like a door slowly becoming easier to walk through. And now, I want to guide you into one last layer of practice. Something simple. Something calm. But something that can quietly transform the way you use English in your daily life. And let's imagine a very real situation. You are sitting somewhere quiet, maybe in the morning, maybe in the evening, and you begin a soft conversation, not with someone else, but with yourself. You ask, "What am I thinking right now?" Pause. Just notice your thoughts. Maybe you say, "I am thinking about my day." Then slowly, add a little more. "I am thinking about what I need to do." Then again, "I am thinking about how I can use my time better." Do you see what's happening? You are turning your thoughts into English, gently, naturally, without forcing anything. And now, let's go a little deeper into this practice. I want you to imagine a feeling, any feeling. Maybe you feel calm, maybe a little tired, maybe a little motivated. And now, express that feeling in English. I feel calm right now. I feel a little tired. I feel ready to learn. Then, take one more step. Explain why. I feel calm because I took some time to relax. I feel tired because I worked a lot today. I feel motivated because I want to improve. This is how your English becomes connected to your real life, your real emotions, your real experiences. And now, let's continue gently. I want you to imagine a small challenge, something simple. Maybe you forget a word. Maybe you feel stuck for a moment. Instead of stopping, instead of feeling nervous, just pause, breathe, and try to explain your idea in another way. For example, if you don't remember a word, you can say, "It is something like," or "It is similar to," or "I don't know the exact word, but." This is a powerful skill, because real communication is not about knowing every word. It is about finding a way to express yourself, no matter what. Not now. Let's take another small step forward. I want you to imagine that you are telling someone about your day. But this time, I want you to focus on connecting your ideas smoothly. You can say, "I woke up early, and then I had breakfast. After that, I started my work, and later, I relaxed." Do you notice those small connectors? And then, after that, later, these simple words make your English flow naturally, like a story. And now, let's go a little deeper again. I want you to take a simple idea. I had a busy day. And now, expand it. I had a busy day because I had many tasks. Then again, I had a busy day because I had many tasks, but I still found time to relax. Then one more step. I had a busy day because I had many tasks, but I still found time to relax, and that made me feel better. This is how your English grows into something rich, something expressive, something natural. Now, let's gently move into a deeper reflection. I want you to ask yourself, what did I learn from today's practice? Pause. Think honestly. Maybe you say, I learned that I can express more than I thought. I learned that I don't need to be perfect. I learned that small steps matter, and that awareness is very powerful. See now, let's take one more step. I want you to imagine your future self. Yes, the version of you that speaks English confidently, naturally, easily. What does that person feel like? What does that person say? Maybe they say, I can speak without fear. I can share my ideas clearly. I can connect with people. Now, gently understand this. That person is not far away. That person is being built, right now, with every small practice, every small sentence, every small moment like this. Now, let's slow down again. Take a deep breath in, and slowly breathe out. And just feel that quiet confidence inside you. It may be small, but it is real, and it is growing. As now, before we finish completely, I want to give you one final gentle reminder. You do not need to rush your learning. You do not need to compare yourself to others. You do not need to be perfect. You only need to continue, calmly, steadily, patiently, just like you did today. Because language learning is not a race. It is a journey, a slow, beautiful, meaningful journey, and you are already walking on that path, step by step, day by day, without even realizing how far you are going. And one day, you will speak, and it will feel natural. You will understand, and it will feel easy. You will express your thoughts, and it will feel free. And you will smile and remember moments like this, where everything started to come together. Well, thank you, truly, for staying with me until the end. Thank you for your time, your focus, and your quiet effort. And I will be here with you again. Now, just stay with me a little longer. Don't move away from this calm space just yet. Because this final extension is where we gently strengthen everything you've learned and make it part of your everyday thinking. You've already experienced questions, answers, reflection, and expression. And now, we are going to do something slightly different. Something that helps you move from practice into real fluency, naturally, without pressure. As I want you to imagine that you are not a learner anymore, just for a moment. Imagine that you are already someone who uses English in daily life, someone who speaks, listens, and thinks without fear. Now, from that place, I want you to speak, even if it's only in your mind. You can say, "Today was a meaningful day. I spent time improving myself. I learned something valuable, and I feel calm." Do you notice how that feels? It feels different, more natural, more complete. This is not just practice. This is expression.
Yet now, let's gently build this habit further. I want you to take a simple idea again. I am learning English. But this time, say it with more depth, more intention. I am learning English because I want to grow. Then expand again. I am learning English because I want to grow, and I believe I can improve step by step. And again. I am learning English because I want to grow, and I believe I can improve step by step, even if it takes time. Now, feel that sentence. It is not just language. It is your mindset, your belief, your voice.
And now, let's continue, gently moving into a more natural flow. I want you to imagine you are explaining your learning journey to someone. You can say, At first, it was difficult for me. I didn't know how to express myself clearly, but slowly, I started to understand more, and now, I feel more confident. This is storytelling, and storytelling is one of the most powerful ways to build fluency. Now, let's go deeper. I want you to describe a small challenge you faced. You can say, sometimes, I feel stuck, and I don't know what to say, but I try to stay calm, and I continue. Then add one more idea. I remind myself that learning takes time, and I don't need to be perfect. This is not just English. This is your inner voice becoming stronger. And now, let's gently guide you into a more advanced expression. I want you to connect ideas more smoothly. You can say, even though learning English can be challenging, I still enjoy the process because I know it is helping me grow. Do you feel that connection, that flow? This is what higher level English begins to look like. Now, let's continue. I want you to imagine a future situation. You are speaking English confidently, maybe with a friend, maybe in a new place, and you say, I'm really glad I didn't give up, because now I can express myself freely, and I feel comfortable communicating. That sentence, that feeling, that is where you are going. And now, let's take another small step. I want you to reflect again, but this time, more deeply. Ask yourself, what has changed in me after this practice? Pause. Maybe you say, I feel more aware. I feel more confident. I feel more connected to English. And even if it's a small change, it is real. Now, let's go one step further. I want you to think about your next step. Not something big, not something difficult. Just something simple. Maybe you say, tomorrow, I will speak for 1 minute, or I will listen carefully again, or I will repeat what I learned. That is enough. More than enough. Now, let's slow everything down again. Take a deep breath in, and slowly breathe out. And just notice. Your mind feels clearer. Your thoughts feel calmer. Your English feels a little closer to you, not far away, not difficult, but something you can touch, something you can use. Now, before we completely finish, I want to say something simple, but very important. You are not starting from zero anymore. You are not the same learner you were before this lesson. Something has shifted, maybe small, but real. And that shift will grow, as long as you continue, because growth does not happen in big moments. It happens in small, quiet, consistent moments, just like this one, where you stayed, you listened, you thought, you practiced, and you moved forward. And that is all you need, not perfection, not speed, just progress, calm, steady, and real. Now, we are truly reaching the end, and I want you to leave this lesson with a peaceful feeling. Not pressure, not stress, just a quiet confidence, a soft belief that you are improving, and you will continue to improve, step by step, day by day, naturally. With thank you, from the bottom of my heart, for being here with me. Thank you for your patience, your effort, and your presence, and I will be here, waiting for you. In the next lesson, calm, steady, and always moving forward, together. Now, just stay a little longer with me. Don't close this moment too quickly. because this final extension is not about adding more information. It's about helping everything settle deeply inside you, so it becomes natural, effortless, and truly yours. You've already walked through many layers, from simple questions to deeper thoughts, from short answers to meaningful expression. And now, what matters most is not how much you learned, but how you carry it forward into your real life, gently, calmly. So let's take one more quiet step together. I want you to imagine something very simple. You are in a normal situation, maybe talking to someone, maybe just thinking to yourself, and instead of searching for perfect words, you allow yourself to speak slowly, naturally, without pressure. You say, "I think this is a good idea." Then you add, "Because it feels right to me." Then one more, "And I want to try it." Do you notice how natural that feels? Not perfect, not complicated, but real. And that is the goal. And now, let's go a little deeper. I want you to imagine that you are explaining your thoughts clearly. You can say, "Sometimes I feel unsure when I speak, but I try to stay calm, and I continue." Then add, "I understand that mistakes are part of learning." And one more. "So, I don't stop. I just keep going." This is the kind of English that builds confidence, not just in language, but in yourself. Now, let's gently practice connecting ideas again. You can say, "I didn't feel confident before, but now I feel more comfortable because I practice regularly." Do you feel that connection, that smooth flow? That is what makes your English sound natural. Now, let's move forward. I want you to imagine a conversation. Someone asks you, "How is your English learning going?" And you answer, "It's going well. I'm improving slowly, and I feel more confident than before." Then you add, "I still make mistakes, but I don't feel afraid anymore. That is real progress. Not perfection, but courage." Now, let's go deeper again. I want you to express something personal, something honest. You can say, "Sometimes I feel frustrated, but I remind myself why I started." Then continue, "I want to grow. I want to improve, and I believe I can do it." This is not just language. This is your mindset becoming stronger. Now, let's gently guide you into one more powerful habit. I want you to begin noticing your thoughts during the day, and from time to time, quietly translate them into English. Not everything, just small moments, like, "I need to finish this. I feel a little tired. I want to take a break." These small moments, repeated daily, will slowly transform your thinking until one day you don't need to translate anymore. You will just think in English, naturally. And now, let's take one more calm step. I want you to imagine your future again, but this time, feel it more clearly. You are speaking English comfortably. You are understanding easily. You are expressing your ideas without hesitation, and you say, "I remember when it was difficult, but I kept going, and now it feels natural." That moment, that version of you, is already being built, right now, through every small effort, every small sentence, every small moment of practice. Now, let's slow down once more. Take a deep breath in, and slowly breathe out, and just notice how everything feels. Your mind, your thoughts, your confidence. even if it's just a little stronger than before, that is enough. So now, before we fully close this session, I want to remind you of something very simple. You are not behind. You are not too late. You are exactly where you need to be, on your path, at your pace, learning, growing, improving, step by step. And this journey, this calm, steady, meaningful journey, will take you further than you think, as long as you continue. Because consistency, even in small moments, is more powerful than anything else. More than talent, more than speed, more than perfection. Just consistency. And you are already practicing that, right now, by being here, by listening, by thinking, by trying. And that is something to be proud of. Truly. And now, we are gently reaching the true end. And I want you to leave with a peaceful heart, a clear mind, and a quiet confidence that you are improving, and you will continue to improve, naturally, steadily, beautifully. Thank you, truly, for staying with me until this moment. Thank you for your patience, your effort, and your trust. And I will be here, waiting for you, in the next lesson, calm, steady, and always moving forward, together. Now, just a little more time together. Stay in this calm space with me, because this final extension is where everything becomes softer, clearer, and more deeply connected to you. You've listened, you've answered, you've reflected, and now, what remains is something very simple, but very powerful. To trust yourself. Yes, to trust your own voice, even if it is not perfect, even if it feels slow, even if you hesitate sometimes, because that voice is growing, and it deserves your patience. Let's take one more gentle step together. I want you to imagine a real moment. You are speaking English, maybe just one sentence, maybe just a few words, and instead of thinking, "Is this correct?" you allow yourself to think, "This is enough," and you continue. That small shift from fear to acceptance is what allows fluency to grow naturally. And now, let's gently practice this feeling. You can say, "I may not be perfect, but I am improving." Then slowly, add one more thought. "I may not be perfect, but I am improving, and I am not giving up." And again, "I may not be perfect, but I am improving, and I am not giving up, because I believe in my progress." Do you feel the difference? This is not just language. This is confidence being built, sentence by sentence. Now, let's go a little deeper again. I want you to imagine that someone asks you, "Why do you keep learning English?" And you answer, "Because it matters to me." Then you expand, "It matters to me because I want to grow." And again, "It matters to me because I want to grow, and I want to express myself freely." That is your reason, your motivation, your direction. And now, let's gently guide you into one more powerful realization. You don't need long hours. You don't need complicated methods. You only need connection. Connection with the language, connection with your thoughts, connection with your voice, and that connection grows through small, calm, daily practice. Now, let's continue. I want you to imagine your next learning moment, maybe tomorrow, maybe later today, and instead of thinking, "I have to study," you simply begin. One question, one answer, one small expression. That's it. And that is enough. Now, let's go one step deeper. I want you to reflect again, but this time, gently, quietly. Ask yourself, what is one thing I can do better than yesterday? Pause. Maybe you say, I can speak a little more. I can try one more sentence. I can stay calm when I make a mistake. And that small improvement is how progress is built. Now, let's move into one final emotional connection. I want you to imagine a moment in the future. You are speaking English, naturally, comfortably, and someone understands you clearly, and you feel proud, calm, happy, and you think, I did this, step by step, without giving up. That moment, that feeling, is waiting for you, and you are already moving toward it. And now, let's slow everything down one last time. Take a deep breath in, and slowly breathe out, and just sit in that quiet confidence, even if it is small, even if it is gentle. It is real, and it is yours. Now, before we completely close, I want to leave you with something simple, something you can carry with you every day. You don't need to rush. You don't need to compare. You don't need to be perfect. You only need to continue, calmly, patiently, consistently, just like today. Because every small effort you make, every sentence you try, every moment you practice, is building something inside you, something strong, something lasting, something real. And then one day, without even realizing how it happened, you will speak, and it will feel natural. You will understand, and it will feel easy. You will express yourself, and it will feel free, and you will remember that it all grew from small, quiet, steady steps, just like this. Thank you, truly, for being here with me. Thank you for your patience, your effort, and your trust. And I will be here, with you again, in the next lesson, calm, steady, and always moving forward, together. Now, just a little more time together. Stay here in this calm and gentle space, because this final part is not about learning something new. It's about helping everything you've practiced become part of you, something natural, something steady, something you can carry with you every day. And you've already done something very important today. You stayed present. You allowed yourself to think in English, even when it felt slow, even when it felt uncertain. And that is exactly how real fluency begins, not in speed, but in patience. Now, let's take one final gentle step together. I want you to imagine a very simple moment. You are sitting quietly, maybe at the end of your day, and you softly ask yourself, how did I do today? Pause. Just think. Maybe you say, I tried. Then add a little more. I tried, and I didn't give up. And one more. I tried, and I didn't give up. And that is enough for today. Do you feel that? That calm acceptance. That is where confidence grows. Quietly. Now, let's go a little deeper. I want you to imagine that you are speaking to your future self. Yes, the version of you who speaks English naturally, easily, without fear. And you say, I am still learning, but I am getting better every day. Then continue. I may feel slow sometimes, but I am moving forward. And again, I trust this process, and I trust myself. This is not just language. This is belief, becoming part of your voice. Now, let's gently connect everything we've done today. You answered questions. You built sentences. You expressed ideas. You reflected on your thoughts. And step by step, you moved from simple English to deeper, more natural expression. And that journey, that quiet progression, is something you can repeat anytime, anywhere. To now, let's create one final small habit together. I want you to choose just one moment as every day. Just one. And in that moment, ask yourself one question in English. Answer it. Then add one more sentence. That's all. You don't need more. This small habit, repeated daily, will change everything. Slowly, naturally. Now, let's slow down once more. Take a deep breath in and slowly breathe out. And just notice how you feel right now. Maybe a little calmer, maybe a little clearer, maybe a little more confident. Even if it's just a little, that is real progress. Now, before we gently close this lesson, I want to say something very simple. You are capable. You are improving. And you are moving forward. Even when it feels slow, even when it feels difficult, you are still moving. And that is what matters. And because language learning is not about being perfect, it is about continuing. It is about showing up. It is about trying again and again and again, just like you did today. And one day, you will speak, and it will feel natural. You will understand, and it will feel easy. You will express yourself, and it will feel free. And in that moment, you will remember this journey, these quiet steps, these calm practices, these small efforts that slowly, gently brought you there. Now, we are truly at the end, and I want you to leave this moment with peace, with confidence, with a soft belief in yourself, that you are growing, and you will continue to grow, step by step, day by day, naturally, beautifully. And thank you so much for being here with me today. Thank you for your patience, your effort, and your presence. And if this lesson helped you, even just a little, please subscribe and press the bell icon too, so you can continue this journey with me every single day. I'll be here, waiting for you. In the next lesson, calm, steady, and always moving forward, together. Now, just one last gentle moment together. Don't rush away yet. Let this final feeling settle softly inside you, because this is where everything becomes complete, where your effort turns into quiet confidence, and your practice becomes something real, something lasting. You've stayed with me from the very beginning, through every question, every thought, every small step, and that alone says something important about you. You are consistent, you are patient, and you are willing to grow. And those qualities, more than anything else, will carry you forward in your English journey. Now, let's take one final reflection together. I want you to gently ask yourself, what is the most important thing I learned today? Pause. Just feel your answer. Maybe you say, I learned that I can express myself. Or, I learned that I don't need to be perfect. Or, I learned that small steps are enough. And whatever your answer is, hold on to it, because that understanding is your foundation. To now, let's take one final small practice. I want you to say this, slowly, calmly. I am learning English. Pause. I am improving every day. Pause again. I believe in myself. And now, one final sentence. I will continue, no matter what. Let those words settle, because they are not just sentences. They are your direction, your promise, your path forward. Now, let's slow everything down one last time. Take a deep breath in and slowly breathe out. And just notice, you are calm, you are present, you are capable, and you are moving forward, even now, even in this quiet moment. Now, before we say goodbye, I want to remind you of something very simple, but very powerful. You don't need to do everything. You don't need to learn everything at once. You only need to keep going, one step, one sentence, one moment at a time. That is how fluency is built, not in a rush, but in a calm, steady, continuous flow. And you have already started that flow, today, right here, with me. And that is something truly special. So as you leave this lesson, carry this feeling with you, this calm, this clarity, this quiet confidence, and return to it whenever you practice, because this is your space, your pace, your journey. And I will be here, with you, every step of the way, guiding you gently, just like today. But thank you so much, truly, from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for your time, your trust, and your effort. And I look forward to seeing you again in our next lesson. Until then, stay calm, stay consistent, and keep moving forward, always together. Now, just one final quiet moment. Stay here with me and let everything become still, because this is not an ending. It is simply a soft pause, a gentle space where everything you practice today can settle naturally, deeply. You don't need to think about all the questions anymore. You don't need to remember every sentence. You don't need to analyze anything. Just notice. You stayed present. You listened. You tried. And that is enough. More than enough. And let your mind rest for a moment. And gently feel the difference inside you. Maybe it's small. Maybe it's quiet. But something has shifted. Something has opened. And that is how growth begins. Now, without pressure, without effort, let one simple thought come into your mind. In English, just one. Maybe something like, I am here, or I feel calm, or I am learning. Let it come naturally, and let it go. Now, another gentle thought. I can continue. No stress, no rush. Just a soft reminder that you can continue whenever you are ready. And now, just sit in that quiet feeling. No need to do anything. No need to prove anything. Just being here. Just practicing. Just allowing yourself to learn. That is already progress. And as this moment slowly fades, carry this calm with you. Carry this steady rhythm. Carry this quiet confidence, not as something heavy, but as something light, something natural, something that belongs to you. And whenever you return to English, return like this, slowly, gently, without pressure, just like today. And let your words grow. Let your thoughts expand. Let your confidence build in its own time, in its own way. And because you are not chasing fluency, you are building it, quietly, steadily, moment by moment, just like this. Thank you so much, truly, for spending this time with me today. It means more than you know. Thank you for your patience, your focus, and your quiet effort. For staying here, for listening, for thinking, and for trying, even in the moments when it felt a little difficult or a little slow. That effort, that gentle consistency, is what will carry you forward, step by step, day by day. If you felt even a small change today, even a tiny bit more confidence, or clarity, or calmness in your English, then that is something very real, and something to be proud of. And I want you to keep that feeling with you, not just here, but in your daily life, in your small moments, your quiet practice, your simple sentences. If you enjoy learning English with me in this calm, supportive, and natural way, please subscribe and press the bell icon too, so you don't miss our daily lessons. We are building something together here, slowly, gently, and consistently. And I would truly love to continue this journey with you. You can also share this lesson with someone who is learning English, someone who needs a calm space like this. Because sometimes, learning becomes easier when we walk the path together. And if you'd like, you can come back to this lesson again. Repeat it. Listen again. Answer again. Each time, you'll notice something new, something deeper, something more natural in your English. So keep going. Keep practicing. Keep believing in yourself, even on the days when it feels slow, because progress is happening, quietly, steadily. I'm really proud of you, and I'll be right here, with you, in the next lesson. Calm, steady, and always moving forward, together.